Edwin, yes.
Yay, yay,
Hi.
yay, yay. In the house. We're live now.
Here.
Hi there.
Edwin,
Hi, Rosa.
how
How
are
are
we
you?
doing?
How
I'm
are you?
Hi.
good.
Edwin,
You're,
Edwin,
you're
Edwin,
almost.
Edwin, you're a legend, man.
Almost.
Legend. Great to have you. Guys, this is
Good to be here.
You look
brilliant.
amazing, Edwin. You haven't
Oh,
aged
thank
a
you.
bit.
Thank you so
Seriously.
much.
We
You're
get
a
your
great
pictures
DJ. I was
like
hearing you earlier. You were
you
you were
did?
killing it. You were killing
Oh,
Yes,
it. Oh
thank you.
yeah.
absolutely.
She knows her
How are you
stuff.
doing? You okay?
I'm doing okay. So far, so good.
Awesome,
Are
awesome.
you hearing me well? You hear me well?
Yeah, all good, all
Good.
Excellent.
good, all
Good.
good. I'm
Good.
just going to give a shout out and introduce the show, and then we'll get cracking from there, if that's okay. Just bear with me for a second. Hello, good evening. This is DJ Amos on DJ Muzu in the house with, of course, two lovely people that we know so well. And we'll get to know more about them as well. Edwin Bonilla and DJ Rosita, all the way in Florida. Hello, 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 and welcome to Latin Live Lounge. It's great to have you guys on board. I'll let Muzu do the talking while I do the sharing. Here we go.
Well, well, well. What can I say? I second that. Welcome to Latin Live Lounge. We've got two special guests, legendary Edwin Bonilla. My goodness, you know, Edwin, I've been practicing and training my contratiempo dance skills for many years. To your songs, I have to say that to you. So thank you for your contribution to Latin music,
Thank you
and
so
the things that
much.
you did for us. Honestly, you're amazing, man. Honestly, your music and yourself, your personality. You're an amazing chap. So honored to have you here.
Yeah,
And
I love that. I get to enjoy him live, you guys. I get to see him from row.
She gets to see me, yeah, when I play here. Well, when I was playing a year ago, right? Something like that. Yeah, it's fun. I've been doing music basically all my life for dancers, basically for dancers. And when I decided to do my solo career, it was solely for that, for dancing, for the dancing public. And yeah, I combined the Cuban with the New York style and all that, and a little bit of the taste here, and I put it all together in a way that comes out pretty unique. I won't say it was better than anyone else or anything like that, but it's got its own little sound, and people enjoy it worldwide, actually. You know, and that's
Actually, absolutely. I think you've been extremely successful as a solo, like with your own music. Because there's already a lot of percussionists out there, like when I was looking through the records, there's already like so many timbaleros, so many timbale players, but what you do, it's very unique to you, and you're known for it. So that was
yeah.
an excellent move.
I actually when I started, I kind of pulled a lot of percussions towards this way. You know what I mean? It inspired a lot of percussions. I mean, besides we already had Tito Puente and everybody else around, but and Ray Barretto, of course, the big guys. But me doing my albums the way I did them inspired other young people to start doing their own thing, and I'm very happy because when I get to talk to them, they always tell me that "Hey, you inspired us to to do music, to do our own stuff, and and we were able to have solos again, percussion solos in the music. Yeah, because it became a period that it was mainly for the singer, like the '80s and stuff like that. It was basically for singing, it's romantic salsa, which I love. I mean, I don't knock it down, but us percussionists, they grew up when in the earlier years, like the '70s, like me. I grew up hearing something else, and there were a lot of like different cats that did solos and stuff like that, and percussion, and a lot of piano solos, and yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean,
That's a
yeah,
good way to start. That's a good way to start. That's not just it. There's a lot to you, but it's a
oh, there's
definitely
a
a good
lot
way to start.
more. Well, I play with different artists also. I'm also, you could say pop percussionist, and I played ballads. I played with Juan Luis Guerras and done some of his stuff. Carlos Vives. I've done crossovers with. I've traveled with Stevie Wonder. I had the fortune of doing that, and I've played with diversities like Tony Bennett James Brown. From one strength to another. We Cachao. I did work like almost 20 years with him, 21 years. And Hansel and Raul, that are locally. I've been working with them since I moved here. So, and Gloria Estefan and Miami Sound Machine. I can't put them away. You know, I've been with them for about 30 years also. Besides doing my own thing, I've worked, yeah, David Valentin, Nestor Torres, great flautist. Ray Barretto, worked with Ray Barretto. I worked with Larry Harlow. It can go on and on. It can go on and on.
I
But
mean, it's a
yeah,
long career. It's a very long career.
that
I'm
that
sure that you cannot. I mean, if we just YouTube you, like, there's already a bunch of names there that we don't even know that you've collaborated with. So
and so yeah, quite a few, quite a few. I mean, I have to sometimes read them up, and read them out to remember because it's like I've been lucky. That's it. It's just been lucky. I've been lucky to do it. Pretty much.
if I can just say one more thing here, I think you'd be more than lucky. Come on, you're very humble, but you are extremely talented, and and you worked on your craft really hard too.
Oh
So
yes.
so thank you for being humble, but we know more than that.
I've been like, well, what with me, I grew up in the era with no YouTube. So my studying was actually watching the actual stars play live. I got to see the Ray Barrettos as a kid. I got to see all Tito Puentes and the good the good players live. So that stuck to me. You had to record everything here to take it home and practice it. Also, I listened to a
Awesome.
lot of music. I did a lot of hours of listening, so that really helped a lot. That really helped so much. I heard a
Okay.
lot of. I went from Fania to old Cuban music to all over the place. And I did a lot of ear studying, basically. Before I would touch the instrument. And
Wow.
yeah, listen to quite a bit of music. I also play charanga. I'm a good charanguero. I play charanga. Oh yeah.
Oh yes.
Yeah,
Yes. Yes.
when they mention charanga in town here, they say you gotta call Edwin. Edwin's the guy because I did that a lot. When I grew up in Jersey, the charanga was very hot up there, and there was a lot of Cubans. So I was playing with Charanga Casino, which was a very hot band at that time, and there it is. And yeah, we were young. We were young. We started young anyway. We got older. But we played with all the best charangas in New York and in Jersey that there were in that time, and we played in New York, constantly in New York, and I learned more. I got to learn more, just being alongside of the best, you know.
Awesome. Awesome. I think we're still getting some kind of feedback from one of the mics. I think I'm not sure. Can you hear that? Can you hear that, guys?
I don't.
Yeah,
No,
I
time,
don't have a
time,
mic.
no.
time, yeah.
Yeah, I don't
Sorry,
have a mic
Muzo.
here, so I'm fine. I hear you guys. I hear you guys great.
Time to time, not constant.
Okay, that's fine. A few shout outs before we go any further. Shout out to Jose Papaito, he's in the house. Mauricio, Jorge Sanchez Papaito, sorry, Donna Taylor, Judith, Jason Ortiz is in the house, Liana Jones, Anya, Camille, DJ Camille is in the house. Andrea Pandara, very, very nice. Susana Farago, the Michael Gapon, DJ Michael Gapon in the house. Good evening, guys. Thank you very much for tuning in this evening. And this is DJ Amos and DJ Muzu with DJ Rosita talking to Edwin Bonilla. And we're going to play one of the tracks. And I think we'll give Rosita the first track. So let's do this. And then we will start grilling Edwin after that.
Excellent. Edwin, your brother Jorge Sanchez Papito also says hello to you.
Oh, tell him I said hello. Tell him I said hello there.
Yeah,
All
brilliant.
right,
So
well,
he
I'm
tuned in
gonna
as
go.
well.
I'm gonna go ahead and play then. Cada loco con su tema from Charanga Casino from
Oh yes,
Israeli
Oh,
special
yes.
of Edwin Bonilla. Please enjoy while I also
Let's
take
see if
out
I
the
remember that.
explanation.
That's the early 80s. Wow.
Yes, let's go.
Pudiera yo hablarte y tratar de explicarte lo mucho que te quiero yo a ti. Quizás algún día podrías sentir los besos que yo siempre quise vivir. Ay, mira, quizás contigo fracaso, pero por sentir tus brazos y ese calor que me quema, ¿qué más me da que me mortifique? No me importa que critiquen. Cada loco con su tema. 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 Cada loco con su tema.
So the question is, who's Edwin in that photograph? Where is Edwin?
He looks like a young imposter.
Where are you? Where are you?
Oh my God, look at that.
That's amazing.
That picture was actually in Miami. We were living here though.
With a tash, yes.
I didn't get to touch anything. I was farther than what I looked, okay?
I can see your gold watch as well.
We lost the music.
Oh no.
Lost it.
Okay.
Oh,
There it
he's
is.
right.
Go, Rosita. Go. In the house.
Hey, we lost.
We lost Rosita there. Yes.
Lost the music.
Oh yeah, he's
Hey.
back to that.
Freezing.
Good evening, everybody. Good evening. Welcome to Latin Live Lounge. Happy Easter. Happy April.
Juro, mami, que yo estoy loco, loco porque
Yep. All in hand.
Okay, tema.
Wow, that's an oldie. My God.
Do you even remember it?
Yes, yes, I will. Yeah, I do. I do remember. It was a long time ago. I remember it was a few decades back, actually.
That's awesome.
What a
Let
great
me
Yeah.
ask you, how did you get connected with Charanga Casino? They're not a rookie band. They're like really good.
No, yeah. Well. Actually, they came from where I was living, my hometown, Elizabeth, New Jersey. They were created there, and my cousin was playing congas with them. Meanwhile, I was playing locally with different bands here and there. And one day, the timbale player, he wanted to leave, decided to leave, and they called me. So I just went there, tried once, and that was it. They said, "You want to join?" I said, "Yeah, yeah, yeah." So I
And
became part of the.
how long?
They were really hot already hot when I started with them. They were hot. Yeah,
And how long were you with them?
I was with them about 3 years. About 3 years with them, but we came to Miami a lot. We did a lot of traveling to Miami, LA, and Mexico. We did Mexico, but we had tons of work in New York. Tons
I'm
of work in New
surprised
York.
that you said that. I thought because you and Miguel Martin are in it, I thought
Yeah.
that it was a local band like from Miami. So I guess Miguel Martin was also from up there.
No, no, no. He was. We actually, one of the singers was leaving, and since we were playing here a lot, the other singer has seen Miguel Martin perform. He was performing with a band called Friends here in Miami, and he brought him in, and he flew. We took him with us up there to New York. So he lived up there for like 2 years with us, and yeah,
Wow.
he played up there, but then he came back home.
And let me ask you, Edwin, you don't have any of these records? Like you don't collect these LPs, or you do?
I used to collect them, but through the years, I lost a lot of them because I was moving a lot, moving here and there and there. And but when I was living up there in New York, I did. I've been living here in Miami since '87.
That was
So,
before I was born.
well, that was recorded before you were born.
We're gonna go back slightly earlier into your history. If you could just tell us, especially me, Muzo, and the listeners, especially in the UK.
Yes, sir.
So, at what age did you start playing, and where you're from, and just give us a little bit of history about your background, so that some of the guys who are just generally listening to the music might catch up with who is Edwin Bonilla, and let's find out.
Yes, I was born in Puerto Rico. As a young kid, I came to New Jersey. I would say 4 years old, around there. And I grew up in Jersey. I grew up there as a youngster. And yeah, I grew up, and I grew up listening to all kind of music because we had the Puerto Rican music. I played with a lot of Puerto Rican bands, like little small bands. Well, we also had the Cubans that came in that era in the '60s, and they didn't have many friends because they didn't that up there. You have to speak. Back then, it was English. It wasn't that bilingual there. So I was like one of the only bilingual guys there. So I became very friendly with them, and from them I got into their music, and then we had African American in the area, and that was the time of Motown. My first instrument was actually drums because I was into Motown. I was into rock. I was into the Beatles, of course. We all were at that time.
Yes.
The Who, the Beatles, the Who, Emerson, Lake and Palmer. I can mention a million of them. But I also listen to the rhythm and blues. I listen to jazz. I grew up around a lot of music, different styles of music, and I got to see a lot of the greats perform. So I got lucky because I was
Robert,
living right near New York. I was like 50 minutes away, 20, 50 minutes away.
well,
So,
here's some news. Here's Robert Palmer. Do you remember him? He used to go
oh
to
yes, I
school.
do, of course.
He
Oh
was he
yeah.
was in school 2 years above me.
Oh really?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
real awesome.
Damn, I'm giving my age away here.
He was a character.
He was a
He
character. Yes,
yeah, he
yes,
was a character. He had his own thing going on. Very nice.
yes, yes. Sorry, you were
And
saying.
yeah, I started playing the drums as a little kid, like 7 or 8, trying to play the drums, and but I was following the roots of rock and the roots of R&B and all that. It wasn't until like in '70s when the Fania music records hit the radios really really hard with Johnny Pacheco, Willie Colon, Celia Cruz, and the charanga started hitting the radio really hard. That I got into the Latin music, and I was basically self-taught. I mean, I watched people play, and I would pick up and yeah, mommy, can you buy me a conga, please? I need a conga. Mom, gonna give me a bongo, Mom, I need to get a pair of timbales. So she was like, oh, it was all yeah, and yeah. I basically learned on my own. And at the age of 13, 14, I was making money already playing. I was playing with small groups in Jersey, but I was making money. The only thing that I didn't have a car, so everybody had to pick me up, whoever needed me. I couldn't drive. I was too young.
But you
But
can drive
yeah,
now.
I'm sorry.
You can drive now, yeah?
Oh, of course, I'll be driving for quite a while already. And
Wow.
yes, and from there on, I started playing with. Actually, when I was 15, I played with a great group. It was local Jersey band, and they had these great players in there that are known right now. They're famous. The guy singing was Herman Oliveira. I don't know if you ever heard of him. He's a
Yes.
salsa singer. He's one of the soneros. And the trombone player his name was Jimmy Bosch. And we were 14, 15 years old, and we were like the opening act for all the bands in New York that would come down, like Ray Barretto, Palmieri, all those hardcore bands. And they would freak out when they see us playing. They were like, wait a minute, these kids sound good. We practiced a lot. Let me tell you, every time we knew we were going to play alongside of someone with a big name, we practiced. So we were tight. And from there on, I kept playing locally. I played with a band, a group called David Cedeno. That and he had a big hit in Europe and Asia. And after that, that's when I fell into casino, Charanga Casino. From there, and that was a good experience because I got to experience a whole different style of music and charanga, and I got really deep into it. I got really into it. Yeah, really, really into it. And I started to listen to the not just to the contemporary what was happening at the time. I went back in time, started buying the old Cuban albums like Orquesta Aragon and all. I went way back. Acaño, Las Maravillas, and everything. And I learned it. I learned it very well. Plus, I had older Cuban guys that were like, always hit me in the head. Listen to that. You're doing it wrong. And so yeah, I learned the hard way, but I learned.
Excellent.
And I had to listened a lot, and it paid off. It paid off.
Fabulous. It's lovely to hear your stories already, Edwin. I mean, and a lot of people actually joining us tonight, and everybody has been looking forward to this particular interview with you, and of course DJ Rosita as well. And one of my friends who's also a DJ, Mark Huddleston, and when he heard that we got you, tonight, and he just like he was so excited, and I think he tuned in already, and he was talking about. He was talking about one of your albums, Pa la Calle, and
Pa la Calle, yeah. That's
he just thinks that that's the best album ever because every single song is so amazing. If you don't mind, I'd like to play one of your songs which I'm absolutely hooked on to for many years, and it's called Cuante Bien from
oh wow, yeah,
from
okay.
Soy la Candela album.
From Soy la Candela, yes.
I'd like to play that one. And also, one of the listeners, Ricardo Linel. Saludos a Edwin Bonilla. The first salsa song I can remember of his, let me read that one. Hold on. Remember of his Soy la Candela, which was one of my favorite songs, he says. When I started, he says,
awesome.
dancing in 2002. My goodness. So there's so many things to play. So I'd like to hit us with Cuánto Bien, if you don't mind. And then we'll carry on with the interview. Here we go. Cuánto Bien by Edwin Bonilla. Here we go. I love this. I love it. Come on, join me, guys and girls. Join us. Oh, man, honestly. Goosebumps or what? Welcome, Caroline Marsh, Jane Carr.
Me cuentan que un sabio un día tan pobre y mísero andaba, caramba, que solo se sustentaba con la hierba que comía. Cuenta bien, bendición que uno tiene. Cuéntamelo. Cuenta bien, lo bueno ya viene. Oye, ¿quién ha visto una escopeta? Oh my God, honestly.
What are you doing to us, Edwin?
Lo dijo el maestro Arsenio, la vida solo es un sueño, pero del destino mío, oye, mi Dios, el único dueño. Cuenta bien, bendición que uno tiene. Cuenta bien, lo bueno ya viene. No habrá cosecha en la vida. Oye bien, si es que primero no hay siembra. Si los compadres se juntan, te digo, por Dios que tiembla la tierra. Cuenta bien, bendición que uno tiene. Cuenta bien, lo bueno ya viene.
Oh, yes.
Lo bueno ya viene.
Come on.
Yeah.
Yes.
Es que lo bueno ya viene. Oye, que lo que te conviene. Basta de llorar, chiquita. Y ven conmigo a gozar. Y gritan desde tu alma. Así calla, corazón, no llores más. Que va.
Yeah.
Linda melodía.
Welcome, everybody. Welcome. Mark Adelson, Jill Anderson. Welcome to the show. Donna Taylor. Camille Pieck. Ricardo. Jane Carr. Anya. Of course, Cara Clark as well. Tony Salsa King Gonzalez. Share the love, share the link, bring more people in. We've got legendary Edwin Bonilla.
Vamos a ver otra vez. Oye, lo bueno ya viene. Te repito, lo bueno ya viene. Óyelo bien, con la esperanza en la mano y un corazón sin fronteras. Y se ve en la lejanía que lo bueno va llegando, cosas ricas, cosas buenas.
My goodness, honestly, Edwin, I want you to talk us about that song. But before that, Mark Huddleston actually says, "I'm here, Ashraf. Hello, Edwin. Thank you very much for your music, Maestro. That's to you. Yes, I play Cuban generally, but Pala Yakaye, it's so hard. Busca a ver all the way." He says.
Yes, Mark. Hi, how are you? Thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed that song. It's a hardcore song to dance to. Very hardcore.
My
And
goodness.
and getting back to Cuenta Bien, that's the original one is from the sextet Joe Cuba sextet, which was done around 1975,
Wow.
and it was a sextet though. It wasn't a big band. So I always liked that tune. I always liked it, and I consulted with my compadre Nino Jesus, who's my right hand man. We get together and fire comes out, you know. And I consulted with him, and so he wrote the parts, the brass and stuff like that, and he also sang it. So we got together and we just put our soul, heart and soul into it. Actually, that album, we did it in 1 week.
Oh, you kidding me?
1
Really?
week, yeah. It actually was
Wow.
like a live album. We have cats playing live and everything with us. But yeah, since he's kind of like me, diverse. We're into all styles of music, and he plays tres, he plays bass, he plays piano. So we kind of it was a hurry up, well done thing. Actually, that album is really good. It's a good album. It's one of my favorites.
And mine as well. There are a total of eight songs there, if I remember correctly.
He's got 8
Um,
songs, and they're all yeah. People like them.
yeah.
I've seen Cuenta Bien. I last week I saw it because they're having it in dance schools, a lot of dance schools all over the world. And I've seen it in Egypt, I've seen it in Asia, I've seen it in Australia, all over. And last week I saw a version was they mixed bachata to it, but it was my song. They had a bachata rhythm to it. It was really cool. I liked it. I was like, yeah.
Oh, did you like it?
You know, it's good when you got something that stands the test of time. You could say, you know what I mean? Because that's an album that's way back. I mean, that's a few years ago, and people are still playing it. Then you just got to feel good about it. You know, you got to feel good, be humbled by it, because it can go the other way around. So far,
Can
I've been
do.
lucky.
It
I
can do.
have been hitting nice points.
Definitely, definitely. And
From me,
Mark
sorry.
says got a mansion, so he can die happily now.
Yeah, yeah.
Just a few more shout outs before Rosita takes over. I've got a shout out to Tony Salsa King Gonzalez, my brother. Thank you for tuning in. And to also Mark Hiddleston, who's been talking to us. And to Anna, who is in Poland near Krakow. So we've got people listening in Krakow as well in Poland. To Ricardo Ninel, my brother. Hope you're okay. Jason, loving your comments on there on the Facebook wall. Absolutely superb. Rosita, it's all yours.
Got me a little bit unprepared here. I thought you were going to go ahead and play something.
Okay, I can play.
Before we,
I got
but
one queued up if you like.
okay, good. But I did want to say, Edwin, I was listening today to Richie Ray and Bobby. Especially, I was listening to Richie Ray saying something about the music of the '80s, what was happening there. He was talking about how much of the music that was being played on the radio and all, it all sounded the same. It was like going to McDonald's or Burger King. But this is what he said. But when you go to the house of Cachita and you enjoy her cooking, everybody knows that what she cooks is something yummy and it's unique and different. That's like I don't know, like what he said was made me think about your music also, because he was talking about how he made music a little bit different. Like, yes, it's salsa, but it was a little different. And so I was thinking your songs, like this song, for example, that we just heard, it's very salsa, but it's also different. And that kind of music stands the test of time.
Yes,
It stands
yes, yes.
out. And another thing is that also impresses me, at least with this track, is that it doesn't have to be a bombastic, like supercharged, energized song to be so danceable and so enjoyable, which is something else I love. But one more thing I wanted to say is that something I especially love about your music is that even when you've done covers of other songs that are previous, I keep finding myself playing your version because it still sounds so fresh, and it reminds me of the older one, but it's still so different, and it also has an amazing sound quality. The people that you work with, because a lot of people can make good music, but then the recording does
The
not
recording,
translate.
yeah, the mixing or the mastering, yeah, yeah, that's very important. Very
But
important.
This
I,
all
is
your
I
music is
I'm always involved in that when it comes to the mixing and mastering. I'm always involved. I don't get too involved. Let the engineer do his work. But when I want something up a little more, a little down, whatever. And I've been lucky that I've worked with great people, great engineers and great players, actually, very good players. Everyone that I've chosen to play each song has done it the way I've imagined it. You know what I mean? When I pick a person, I imagine that's how he's going to work on my song, on that song specifically. And when I do copies, I don't try to exert, like, make it better or anything like that. I try to make it I try to make the song. I respect it, but I do it my style, because I kind of think I have a certain style, and I have it's kind of an analog type of style, that I have in my ears. So yeah, I try. It's not to be better or anything like that. Just to, if I love it, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it my way, and regardless. But so far, I haven't had any complaints of the other art from the other artists. So
of course. No, I highly doubt that you ever will, because you respect the music, you
oh,
know.
oh yes, or yeah.
And I also think, even though you're Puerto Rican, of Puerto Rican heritage, a lot of us people from here, from Miami, we used to think that you were Cuban.
Oh yeah,
If
well,
you play,
that's because I play with a lot of Cuban bands. That's basically all I play with here. Uh, if you come to look at it, like, from Hansel and Raul, I recorded with Roberto Torres the Guajiro albums, all those charanga de la cuatro, all those charangas, he used to record like 4 albums a year, and I was the only, like, Cachao would do the bass. Cachao was the bass player, and everyone was Cuban. I was the only Puerto Rican there.
Right. Bueno, el conjunto impacto, which is,
Well, I play with Conjunto Impacto, yeah, and I recorded in one of the albums, yeah. But I know Mario since my days of Casino coming down here when when he was with Impacto. That's way back in the yeah. That was a good band, really good band here. Yeah.
are they
Awesome.
still around? Are you still playing with them?
No, I'm not. I'm not. No, I'm not. I'm not. I'm not. Because I took like a 4 year hiatus, and I went up to do Broadway in New York, and I did On Your Feet, On Your Feet for Gloria Stefan, the Gloria Stefans. So I still play music, Cuban music. I mean, with pop, with the pop issue, but it was a Cuban story how they immigrated to the United States, and then I did that for 2 years. I just wanted the experience because I had once I moved here and started working with her, all my dreams of playing in different places in New York came true, like Madison Square Garden and all those Carnegie Hall, Radio City Music Hall, all that came. So I did all that with her, all the morning shows and all that. But I always wanted to do Broadway. You know, I always wanted to do that scene. I saw it far away. I always would pass by and I was like, I don't think I'm ever gonna do this. You know, I had never had it, and then until they asked me, I said, yeah, I wanted to try it out. So I did that in 2 years in Broadway, and then I did the Broadway road trip. That was 2 years. And but between there, I would fly in and do stuff with her. Are you guys in London?
No, we're in
Oh,
north
we're
of
up
England.
north.
I'm sorry.
In the north. I'm in the north west, and Muzu is on the northeast. So we're across from each other.
Because I've been all over there. I've been all over Great Britain,
Have you been
Scotland,
to Sheffield, Edwin?
Ireland.
That's
My
news
last
for us.
gig was in the Royal Palace Hall.
Wow.
That was my
impressed.
last gig with,
Okay.
and that was amazing. It felt like the people were going to jump on you. You know, it was like everyone was so like. That was my last gig in London. That was an awesome gig.
When was that then? When was that?
That was in that's when Gloria did that Standards album.
Oh yes, yes.
Yeah,
In
the Standards.
the mid '90s, that was right. Around.
Right.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
And we were doing a tour. We did a tour. We went first to London, and then we did Belgium. We went all over. But yeah, that was very, very exciting. I mean, I thought the Garden in New York would be exciting, but that's the most exciting gig I've ever done. I've done Wembley. I also done Wembley, but that one was, oh my God.
Wembley's a different
that was
platform.
intense. The crowd was intense.
Wembley's a different platform. Absolutely different platform.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I've got a track lined up here. You've collaborated with quite a few people, and I was speaking to Chroma Latina last week, so I'm going to play this for them because one of the guys in the group wasn't feeling well, and had a bit of a chat. So I'm hoping he's feeling well. And this is La Rumba Me Llama. It's an absolutely brilliant track with Jesus Alejandro El Nino and yourself.
Yes.
Oh, yes, what a fantastic track, guys. Give it up for Edwin Bonilla. This is La Rumba Me Llama. Here we go.
La rumba me llama y escucha mi música.
Musica, love it.
I don't remember it, but sounds good.
¡Qué tema! ¡Upa!
La rumba me llama y escucha mi música. La rumba me llama y escucha mi música.
Wow.
Wow.
I did that
Oops.
wow. I don't
What?
way back, a few years ago.
That was what an absolutely amazing collaboration with Chroma Latina. Absolutely, really think that song is amazing. And a shout out to Lena. Oh, hello, Lena. How are you doing in Chicago? Hope you're okay. And to Donna, I've not mentioned Donna before. I'm going to pass you now to the very beautiful Rosita. I'm sure she's ready now.
Yes, yes, I am. Question, Edwin. I see that you
Yes.
did. So the track I have lined up here is from Orquesta La Inspiración with Pedro
Wow. Oh my
Barrio.
God. Wow.
Let me tell you, me having it is a miracle. I got that for like $1.32 in a lot of like 300 more albums for that price. This was sealed, and it's got like a naked lady in the front.
It's a heavy cover. Yeah, I remember that. We were embarrassed to show it to our family.
Rosita, my
I came
address
out like
is
that's from '86 or something, right?
Rosita, my address
86.
is
So yeah, tell me about that. I know
Actually,
nothing about this band.
okay. Well, the leader of that band, his name is Felo Barrio. He used to do all the chorus for all the big bands. I'm talking about Tito Puente, on and on. He was the guy to call. Well, he
Like,
also
oh
sang.
yeah.
He also sang with Orquesta Broadway, and he did a big band. And he was connected, very well connected. Everyone knew him. Everybody still knows him. He lives in Miami now. No, he lives in actually, yeah, he lives in Miami. And that was in '86, right? The year.
Uh-huh. Yes. Wow. What a memory.
Yeah, because I had just left Casino, and I started playing with him, and that's how the connection came with Hansel and Raul. So he had a big band. It was a big band. I played both bongos and timbales in his band, and we worked a lot. And what happened was that Hansel and Raul went to New York. They saw me play, and they saw me play charanga with the big band. The way I play the charanga, Hansel told me out of the blue, "Hey, would you like to? If you ever want to move to Miami, you have work with me." And back then they were hot here. They were working, a lot. I mean, it's a hot band still, but they were back then. It was like they were the band here, and I'm like, yeah, I'm not crazy. I'm thinking he's never gonna call me. Yeah, okay, yeah. So that was in '86. That I lasted in the band like not even a year, and they did call me. So I ended up in Miami, recording the album for Hansel and Raul, and playing, gigging, and that's it. I said, I'm staying here. I like the weather. I like the people. And yeah, that's
I'm so
that's
lucky
a
to
story
have
about
it.
them. The story about La Inspiración right there. Very
Then
short.
I'm really lucky to have it. Then
Yeah, that was yeah. Like we did that album, and we did a few. When I left, they still kept playing. They still went on to play for like another year or two, and then it broke up, and he ended up fellow body moving down here to Miami.
awesome. Well, here I picked the track El Ciego,
I
and I
don't
picked
remember
it. Well,
it.
good. You get to hear today. You're actually playing bongos on this record, which is
Yes.
also why I'm like awesome because I think you're now more known for timbales, but you're like you're a master in all of these. So let's enjoy. I think this is one of the heavier bongo tracks. So pay attention to you playing the bongos here.
Okay.
¿Has visto cómo pierde su alegría? La fuente ya vacía cuando el agua le faltó. Es la cosa más triste de este mundo. Y así me siento yo, por ti, solo por ti. No escuches el lamento de las aves cuando ven con amargura que su nido se perdió. Es la cosa más triste de este mundo. Y así me siento yo, por ti, solo por ti. No mires cuando el ciego se enamora, cuando quiere ver la aurora, cómo se pone a llorar. Y sufriré la luna cuando brilla y no hay dos enamorados que la quieran contemplar. No mires cuando el sol se está poniendo, pues el día está muriendo y la noche le llegó. Es la cosa más triste de este mundo y así me siento yo, por ti, solo por ti.
El pobre ciego, por eso llora.
Llora, llorará, llorará a esa negra linda porque la adora.
El pobre ciego no ve la aurora.
Y un sentimiento en mi alma, ay, sigue creciendo.
El pobre ciego, por eso llora.
Pero que lenta pasan las horas mientras recuerdo.
El pobre ciego no ve la aurora.
Qué difícil es hablarte y tú no comprender.
El pobre ciego, por eso llora.
Ay, caray, cómo son las cosas, ay, caray, no la puedo ni ver.
El pobre ciego no ve la aurora.
amigos míos, por hacerme el favor.
El ciego se alegró cuando yo la inspiración.
El ciego lloró y lloró y lloró, pero la orquesta y le gustó.
El ciego se alegró cuando yo la inspiración.
Como el ave se pierde, así me pierdo yo.
El pobre ciego no ve la aurora.
Son cosas que suceden entre el hombre y la mujer.
El pobre ciego por eso llora.
Lo más triste de este mundo, no puedo ni verte.
El pobre ciego no ve
¿A
la
dónde
aurora.
está la linda guitarrilla plomachita despiadada? Que es la suerte desgraciada, te negó por ser gitana.
What a finish.
Wow. Wow. You really just surprised me a lot with that one.
Oh,
I
I'd
don't-
love to hear it.
Oh my God, yeah. I haven't heard that in a long time. So long.
Jason wants to say something. Hold on.
Okay.
Maestro Edwin, man,
Jason, how are you?
that transition to that bongo to the bell reminded me of those good old Charlie Santiago and Gumbi Tumbao.
Yeah, go me.
Man, they played for Conjunto Clásico and they looked at each other, all boom, 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 boom. Oh,
That's it.
man.
That was it.
You nailed it. You nailed it. Thanks, Maestro.
Awesome. Awesome.
And
Hey,
to
Jason,
think he
good
was
to see you, man.
young, you know? Because that's
Yeah.
the thing to me. How's that so talented, and so clean, so young?
That was actually that was a good album. It was a very good album. It was a big band. The band was really good. And that guy, that if you notice that singer there, his name is Julio Salgado. He sounds like the guy from Gran Combo, Jerry Rivas. Sounds a lot like him. And like when he first came from Puerto Rico to New York, I told him, man, you sound so much like this guy. That's gonna be rough.
And I
You
think
sound
the
like Jerry.
song is actually like originally a bolero. Like I was hearing the lyrics and I'm like, wait, I've heard this song, but it was a
Probably
remake.
bolero, probably, yeah,
Very
yeah.
nice,
It's Ciego, the blind man. the
very
blind man.
nicely done.
Thank you.
Amazing.
Thank
Great track you've played there, Rosita. That was awesome. Muzu.
Wow,
Awesome.
wow.
Awesome.
Okay, Edwin, a couple of questions, and I'm going to play one of your songs as well. I
Okay.
queued up earlier on. This question is from my brother, Mark Huddleston. It says, I'd love to know, please, about Edwin's collaborations with Jesus El Nino, how they met and how it was working together. Thank you, he says. So, yeah, that's his question.
Okay. So, we've known each other for a good 30, 35 years, actually. I met him when I first moved to Miami. He moved back a year later, and he went to a club where I was working with Hansel and Raul, club called the Crossway, and he was there with his wife, and he liked the way I played and whatever, and I didn't know that he played. And they told me, hey, this guy's good. He's a great singer. He's a great musician. And okay, so we met, we made friends, and then he called me for recording. He used to do a lot of jingles here and stuff, and I started working with him a lot. You know, I started doing a lot of stuff with him here in the studio. My compadre and me, we became very close, very close. I actually learned a lot with him in the studio, a lot with him. You know, as far as recording, I picked up a lot with him. And he's awesome. He's a great. He's one of my favorites, if not my favorite. It's like a brother, like a Puerto Rican Cuban thing, you know. It's like, but I made him a godfather to my youngest son, So we're really like we compadres, you would say, in Spanish, and we're really close, like brothers. We keep in touch. He's and I've always collaborated with him since my first CD. I asked him because I thought me and him have a common style. We have pretty much the same style. We listen to pretty much the same people, and we had the same music. So every time I work with him, we come up with some unique stuff that is like, wow, did we do that? Yeah. So he's
That's awesome.
yeah.
That's awesome. Maybe next time we can
Yeah,
have you.
we're old school. We're good. We're old school with the new. We kind of mix it up differently. You know what I mean? And every time we get together, the ideas just fly out. And we work together very well. Because when you work with somebody awesome, that's like that is that awesome. It's very easy to work with. Although we fight a lot in the studio, but we always wind up kissing and hugging later on.
That's nice. That's
He's
nice.
my brother. He's my brother. That's
Edwin, Edwin, next time maybe we can have Jesus with you and interview you maybe 6 months later.
I wouldn't have him here, but he's in Mexico. He lives in Mexico now. He went from Montreal to Mexico, so he's like,
oh wow.
It's a lot better because the weather's better over there, I guess, for him. He lived quite a bit in Montreal, so
awesome.
Yeah, he had the weather there.
Edwin, there is also a question from Anya, one of our listeners, regular listeners, and her question is Edwin Bonilla related to Benny Bonilla?
I know who she's talking about. Benny Bonilla was a conga player, but he played way before me. It's kind of ironic because when I was with Cachao, playing with Cachao, the manager was Richie Bonilla, which was the brother of Benny Bonilla. So I used to call him Tio, uncle, and he used to also play congos. But Benny played till like the early 70s. That was it. Then he stopped playing. Yeah.
Well, as a follow-up to that question, Musa, if you don't mind me interrupting, Edwin, do you have anyone else in your family that is also a percussionist?
I have a cousin of mine that played in the Casino, Carrero. He's playing in that album, and he's the one that got me in the band. But and he also went on to play with Luis Perico Ortiz, Jose Canario, and who else did he play with? Conjunto Libre. He also went on to play with them. He retired. He retired.
I'm planning to hear from them a little bit later.
But he's good. He was a great conga player. Still is. I could imagine. If he grabs the conga, he would play. It would be no problem.
Lovely. I'm going to play one of your songs. But before that, a few shout outs. James Taylor. We've got Bridget Walker also joined us. And I think Cheryl also I can see now. And Donna has been with us for a while. And a few others as well. Well, Tony Salsa King Gonzalez is still in the house. And Cara Clark. Hello, Cara, and the list is endless at the moment. Wow. Okay, so Edwin, I'm going to play one of your songs again. Surprise, surprise. It's Celebre from it's Celebre from the Palacalle album. So I was dying to play this tonight. So I'll do that now. So join me. Here we go. There's a version is being sung by Andy Montañez.
Yeah, and Batacumbele.
Sí. I love it.
No sé qué se le ve a la mulatica de Doña Tete. No, yo no sé qué se le ve a la mulatica de Doña Tete, que tiene todo el barrio trastornado. Hay quien le dice que su caminao. No sé qué se le ve a la mulatica de Doña Tete.
Good evening, Sarah Mason.
Yo no sé qué
Mandy,
se le ve,
welcome.
a la mulatica de Doña
And of course,
Tete.
Gerard O'Reilly as well.
A esa niña yo me le acerqué para descubrirle lo que se le ve y me dijo: yo tengo azuquita en la cintura y a todo el mundo lo dice, esa negra es sabrosura. Pero, si a esta banda te toca mirar, tu pierna está en la cintura. Yo tengo azuquita en la cintura. Esa nerona me tiene loco y con ese movimiento me rompe el coco. Yo tengo azuquita en la cintura. Y pa' que tú muevas la cinturita, mami, yo te canto rumba buena y guaguancó. Y para descubrirle lo que se le ve a esa niña yo me le acerqué. Sí, mira, mami, me gusta el dulce de coco, eso sí me vuelve loco. Yo traigo el dulce de piña, que es sabroso para las niñas. Yo traigo el merengue en plato, si me tocas me arrebato. Yo traigo el merengue en plato, si me tocas me arrebato. Me paso la noche entera gozando la borrachera, aunque mi mujer no quiera, gozando la borrachera.
Viva, viva, arriba, Edwin Bonilla. Yeah, baby.
Oye, muladora, con esa pierna tan linda que tú tienes, mami.
Gracias, Mandy. Gracias.
Baila, baila, baila con la punta del pie. Y si tú quieres dulzura, mami, yo te llevo parte del pie. Y dale mambo. Sopla. Ay, Dios mío. Ay, oh.
Ladies and gentlemen, very special night in the UK on Latin Live Lounge Ritmo del Mundo. We've got legendary Edwin Bonilla in the house with a special guest DJ, Rosita. Thank you for joining us.
Y ahora, ¿pa' dónde nos vamos, todo el mundo?
Get your questions ready for our special guest. It's 12 minutes 11 in the evening in the UK. We're going to carry on till midnight. So we've got another maybe 48 minutes left, possibly. Wow, wow, wow. Se le ve. My goodness. Edwin, what are you like? Honestly. You're a legend, man. You're a legend.
Thank you so much. I'm glad you enjoy my music. It's because
All
of
of
you
it.
guys. It's because of you DJs that I'm alive.
Honestly, all of it.
You keep me alive. You keep me creating. You know.
Edwin,
I,
where are
I
you right now? Are you in Miami?
I'm in Miami. Yeah.
Okay. We were
I
wondering.
came back. I've been back for 2 years already. I
Awesome.
was on
Good.
the
Let's
road. I was in New
go.
York. Then I was
Please
on the
check echo
road. I did my
cancellation.
last album on the road.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Have you
check
checked
Sorry.
your
the echo
echo translation. Yeah.
Yeah,
There.
it's gone.
I got it.
Got it. In the
Yay.
house.
We got it. We got it.
I was saying that don't you go anywhere, okay? Don't you dare move. Just stay here.
You
No,
stay put.
you come to England, Edwin. We want you here.
No, I'm here. I'm here. I'm here with you guys. No,
You
I'm
know,
having fun.
Moso,
I'm
it's
enjoying
interesting
it.
that you call me DJ, but actually, I think here in Miami in the salsa scene, they know me more as like a photographer because I would
Really?
go.
Really?
Right.
Wow. You.
Yeah, I would go before to and just take pictures of salsa bands, and I actually have a couple of Edwin up on
Oh, so that
Facebook.
was you. That was you.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
was you.
Now the
So they know
secret's
me more
out.
as a
I was
photographer
saying,
than
wait a
a
minute. I know her from somewhere. Wait a minute. Awesome.
Awesome.
Awesome. You're an awesome
Awesome indeed.
DJ. I'll tell you that. You're
Oh,
an
thanks.
awesome
I'm
DJ.
learning. I'm
Rosita,
learning. A new one. I'm a Rosita.
Rosita, you're a photographer and a DJ. How good is that, eh?
Yeah.
Having
She's
that
got it
double
Well,
going
I'm
on.
title.
actually a singer, you
And
guys.
singer,
Well,
my goodness, that's
you
awesome.
sang too, right? You
Yeah,
sang.
I
Yes.
did background for I've done background for a couple people, but the highlight I think is Richie Ray and Bobby.
Let's Ray Bobby Cruz. Wow. Wow.
Yeah,
Look
that
at
was an
that.
amazing
She,
opportunity.
she's
And
incognito there. Look at she's incognito in the
Jason.
photographer.
The paparazzi's out.
Paparazzi. That's awesome,
Awesome.
Rosa.
Amazing. Amazing. Thanks for that, Jason. Absolutely amazing. Okay, because the guys are covering your original music, I'm doing your collaborations. We had Ricky Campanelli on a few weeks ago, and we spoke to him about his musical journey. How was it like working for him? Because I know that you've done a track with him as well, also with Jesus El Nino Alejandro as well. So please tell us a little bit about that, then I'll play the track.
Well, yeah, he lives in Montreal. He was living in Montreal. He's a DJ also. He was working in his mom's club as a DJ, and I met him as a DJ actually when I was working up there. And then 2 years later, he's an engineer, and he
Awesome.
wants to do an album. So I got together with Nino, and he recorded. We kind of exchanged. He gave me some hours for my recording time, and I played on his albums. So yeah, and he had very good ideas because he's a DJ, a club DJ, and he knows what the dancers like. So pretty much everything we did was pretty much his ideas,
No,
and
the work you've done is absolutely amazing.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yes.
It came up very good, very good.
Ladies and gentlemen, you listen to Edwin Bonilla talking about his musical journey with myself, DJ Amos, DJ Muzu, and the beautiful Rosita, who's in the house, aka photographer, and Captain Salsa
DJ.
Jill says, "Can you do anything else to add to the list if you want?"
And can you sing for us, Rosita? You gotta sing for us.
And yeah, and
That would be
I
awesome
actually
if you
do
could sing
sing
with
sometimes
Edwin.
on my sets. I get so excited I just sing over it.
and a massive shout to COVID Party for also letting us do the cross platform hosting this evening. So it's absolutely amazing. Thank you, COVID
Awesome.
Party. And this is Superman featuring Jesus El Nino, Alejandro, and Edwin Bonilla, produced by DJ Ricky Campanelli. Enjoy.
Pero ¿a dónde andaba Ida? Cuéntame tu vida, que yo te andaba a buscar. Y dame contestó.
You can sing along, Edwin, if you want.
I remember that one.
I knew Rosita.
Temerario, en un callejón sin salida. Pablo y Rebeca, Sansón y Dalila, los tres mosqueteros, Catalina la Grande, Ricardo Corazón de León, fijaron una cita en la frontera para conquistar el universo. El general murió al amanecer. La historia se escribe de noche. Guido,
Share the love, share the love.
siempre te dije te quise en la cumbre de pasión. Como de 15 te quiero y estás en mi corazón.
Rumba, rumba, guaguancó.
Llegó Superman bailando rock and roll, pero bailando el rock and roll, bailando el guaguancó, mamá. Llegó Superman bailando guaguancó. ¡Anda! Llegó Superman bailando guaguancó.
The room is on fire.
Llegó Superman bailando guaguancó. ¡Hey! Guaguancó, Maribá. Llegó Superman bailando guaguancó. Como baila ese mulato.
Go, Rosita, go.
De velocidad.
I love watching you dance.
Él se pone en 2 minutos de Miami a Montreal. Vamos a llegó Superman bailando guaguancó. Y vino con Gita para gozar bailando guaguancó.
Salsa.
Bonilla,
Bonilla. I like that. Very nice.
It's a scary bolilla.
con Superman caballero, ya viene gozando número. Con Superman caballero, ya viene gozando número. Ya viene gozando número. Ya viene gozando número. ¡Uy! ¡Ah! Llegó Super Jordan en el trombón. Llegó Superman bailando guaguancó. Llegó Superman
Bailando guaguancó.
usando con trombón. ¿Con quién? Usando con trombón. Con Jordan Martínez. Usando con trombón. azúcar, más sabrosura. ¡Sube! ¡Allá!
Wow. Wow,
Love
wow,
that
wow. Okay.
conga solo.
Just absolutely amazing. I love it when it says Bonilla. What a nice way.
Yeah, that sounded scary for a moment there.
I love it.
I love it too, for sure.
Brilliant, brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Thank you very much for that. Okay, I've got a question for you, Edwin. Tell
Yes.
tell us, who is your biggest inspiration? I know there must be so many people you've worked with, but there's one particular guy who will you can say,
Oh,
yeah,
girl.
this is the man.
As far as what
Inspiration in
instrumentation?
terms of your inspiration in terms of your musical journey. Who inspires you the most? Who is your biggest influence in terms of
Oh, okay.
developing your
Yeah.
Female or male?
When I got into the Latin percussion, let's say Cuban percussion, Latin percussion,
yes,
I got into Santana. I liked what he was doing. He had a guy there, Chepito Arias, that was a
oh
small
yes,
guy with a big afro. He
hmm
was he had muscle. He was like his rolls were so definitely and even. I always loved to see the band whenever it came on television. That was my. I always wanted to play with Santana, and I got to play with Santana in the Latin Grammys. I got to play with him, and yeah, he was one of the guys that I got, and Stevie Wonder, and I got to play with him also.
that's
Inspiration.
just
I got to play
amazing.
with Tito Puente, and it was like I wanted to play with him. I got to do that, but that was those were big events where they were included. But I got to play with them, which is great. I mean, it was like always
Awesome.
it was a dream come true, actually.
No, you inspire us
And
as well. In when we listen to your music, when we think the amount of energy you put into creating a production of this quality, this nature, the whole music concept of that particular track in terms of musicality, arrangements, and the musicians who play on there, it's just so
yeah,
absolutely amazing. Just amazing.
yeah, but
Wow.
it's like you said in terms of having that quality, that sound, and having it come out to the light like that, like you're saying, you have to be you have to have an idea of what you want. You have to be conscious of what you want, and conscious of the guys that you're using for that
Absolutely.
song.
Absolutely.
Because not everyone sounds the same in a typical song, in a particular song. For me, there's some guys that are, I have a mindset that I don't use like the same trombone player. I would say this guy he would give me the kick I want. This guy would give me the mellow part. You know what I mean? So I use
Yeah, yeah,
different
yeah.
people to get different sounds, lately I've been doing that with the singers also, using different singers, new singers, and trying them out. Still, my favorite is Nino Jesus. Jesus is my favorite, but I like trying new things all the time.
No,
I
Nino
add
is
violence to my
absolutely
stuff, and
amazing.
yeah.
Have we still got echo cancellation that needs checking somewhere? Because I can hear an echo.
I'm fine here.
Okay.
I'm fine here too.
Just a few more shout outs to Michael Giapon, to Cara Clark, to Lena, Jill Anderson. Thank you for your lovely comments. And a big shout out to COVID Party today for doing a cross platform with us. It's absolutely amazing that you guys have joined us. And DJ Michael Giapon is saying that he's going to play that track tomorrow, what I've just played now with Nino. So that should be great. I'm going to pass you now to Muzu. Here we go.
Okay, very quickly. Hello everybody. If you just joined us, welcome. And we've got two special guests here with the legendary Edwin Bonilla and also a DJ, singer, and photographer. Rosita is in the house. Yes, all these three titles, amazing.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
And one day we're gonna have Edwin and Rosita singing for us solo, but maybe next program, maybe next time.
We'll definitely be jamming sometime soon when this pandemic is over.
Yes, absolutely.
Absolutely.
That'll be grand. Edwin, I've got now, as far as I know, you've got about 10 albums, and that includes your singles. Am I right to come up with is that the right number in total?
You mean my solo album, solo as a soloist? I
Um,
have eight. I have eight.
8, right.
Yeah.
Okay.
By next year I'll have 10. Hopefully.
Awesome.
I've had a lot
Awesome.
of time to work on them. So
Lovely. Lovely. I mean, I'm not a vinyl collector, but do you have your albums in vinyl formats as well as CDs?
I'm not quite sure because some people just make them. I know they all come out in CD format. My last album came out and it was digital. It was a digital album. I did my own CDs for the people that wanted the copies. The
Can I
hard
get
copies.
one?
Of course you can. Of course, yeah, yeah. Send me your address and boom, you're right here in
Will
Miami. So
do.
right,
There you are.
you live in Miami, so no problem. Of course.
Awesome.
Hopefully you
Awesome.
get it in a week. The way the post office is working here lately. But you get it. You
Edwin.
get it for sure.
Awesome.
That's
Amazing.
brilliant.
I
That's
do think,
brilliant.
Edwin, it would be wonderful. I think your music is LP worthy. I do think it would be wonderful if we could find a way to get your albums on LP. The previous ones, like the older ones and the newer ones.
Yes.
I don't know. Are you acquainted with Lucas Torres? He's a local guy. Very big presence in the Club of Melómanos, and he's been helping to
Oh
press.
yeah, yeah. They actually gave me a plaque. Melómenos. They gave me a plaque for my album Homenaje a los Rumberos, which,
Ah,
which later on got nominated for two, like the Latin and the American Grammy. But they gave me their own Grammy before that it was even like advertised, and
yeah.
they,
So
they
that's
gave me that idea.
why.
They gave me that idea about the album. They gave me, they told me that would do very well in Colombia and all that. But after that album, I didn't have much time to think about it. I kept recording, and that's when I left to New York. So, it was out of my hands. It was out of my hands.
Well, I'll definitely try to get the conversation going with Lucas
it could still
Torres.
be done. I mean, it could still be done.
Yes,
There's been no problem.
absolutely. And the
I
thing
could still.
is, and now with Kobe Party, where we've been able to get connected to so many DJs, there's a lot like around the world, you are loved. Your music is loved and cherished. And so, there's no better way of preserving it than in an LP.
An
So
LP
I'm
for
all for
sure.
getting that in there, and then we
I'm
can
all for
frame
it
it as
too.
well.
I will
I
take a copy
agree. I
of every
agree.
one of them.
I totally agree. I totally agree.
We can all get
Yes,
2 copies, one for framing, one for playing.
for sure.
Yes,
Number
I would do
three
the
day.
same.
Sure. Definitely.
I would do the same. I would do the same.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Guys and girls, it's 11:30 p.m. in the UK. So I think almost we're scheduled till 12 midnight. Is that
Yes,
right?
we are. Yes.
Okay, so we've got last half an hour, so I'm going to play another song, and I'd like to. Yes, and then we're going to have Rosie. Okay, so Edwin, I'm concentrating on your Soy la Candela album.
Okay.
So I played the Cuenta Bien from that album, and then I think earlier on somebody mentioned about Yo Soy la Candela, and
That's
in
the second.
2002.
The second.
That's
The
right.
second. Yeah.
That's right.
Um,
So,
I,
you remember the second track? Yes,
no,
exactly.
I remember that album. It's a good album. It was a good album. I think any song you pick out of there will be fine. Will be fine.
Awesome, awesome. So I think it was Ricardo Linel mentioned about dancing to that song in 2002. So I'm going to
Oh
play that.
yeah.
now. So
La
so
Candela.
let's go and let's see how it goes.
Awesome.
Al derecho, al revés, para que no te equivoques. Yo soy la candela.
Hello, Hong Won, Rudy Morales. Welcome, welcome.
Yo soy.
legendary Edwin Bonilla is in the house. It's a massive privilege and honor to have you, Edwin.
Thank you.
Soy del sol la llama antigua, candela que quema el campo y el bien, la brasa de la manigua.
Saludos, Hong Wong. How you doing, Hong?
Bongo, bongo chevilla.
Yeah, Edwin started swinging, yes! Follow the leader.
Soy la candela en el quinto, yo soy la candela en la tumba. Cuando canto soy candela, soy la candela en la rumba.
Oh, yes. Yo soy la candela. Edwin Bonilla. Oh, my goodness. From Soy la Candela album. My goodness. Thank you, Edwin.
What a
Thank you,
great
thank
track
you.
indeed. Absolutely amazing. Just a few shout outs to Ricardo. Absolutely, Ricardo is saying that we should get your vinyls done, and then all the DJs will be chasing you every day until they all get a copy of your vinyl. That would be amazing.
I'll work on
Jill,
that.
Jill is asking a question, which can you see the screen there? It's a long question. It says, I have a question for Maestro Eddie. Maestro, you have worked with so many awesome artists and you've mentioned so many big names. I would love to know, out of the lesser known artists, who would you consider a hidden gem or underrated that music lovers should be looking out for? Thank you.
Making him think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're sweating now, aren't you? It's a difficult one.
Yeah, it's pretty.
That's a great question, Jill. Thank
Because
you.
you know what?
That's a-
Because you know why? Let me tell you the truth. To be honest, there's quite a few talents out there that should be known. Should have hit or should be known by now, and they're not. Um, but hidden gems. I can't really name. I won't want to name anyone. Uh, but I remember playing with Esperanza Spalding. She's a great. She was starting, and she actually became really big. The singer, bass player, right? And I didn't know how she was going to make it that big, and she did make it. I would like to say, with all honestly, and being humble, not just because I work with them, but they're like my family. But I think Emily Estefan, Gloria Estefan's daughter.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Yeah, she's
She's
good.
definitely, she's going to be a force to be reckoned with. I mean, she's already out there. People know who she is and everything, but she's still got yet to, And
Yeah,
yeah,
and
she is a
Emily,
gem.
yeah.
She is a gem, indeed.
I think the thing with Emily is that she's so talented in so many different areas. Like, there's so much she can do, and all of it she can do well. That I think that the thing with her is that I think we haven't found the one place where she, like, if she wants to focus on something, right? But everything she's done so far is amazing, and you can tell. You can tell
No,
that.
she's amazing. She in the concerts. I was in the band before she was born, and when she started walking, she was already on stage in the arenas with us, with headsets, watching everybody. She knew all my solos. She knew all the drummer solos. She knew the bass player's licks. By the time she went to Berkeley College, she didn't have much to learn. I mean, reading music and harmony and stuff like that and all that. But she was playing already. She's playing. She's awesome. She's awesome.
She's an amazing artist indeed. Um,
I'm
uh,
glad you mentioned that. Can I ask a follow up question, Amos?
yes,
Edwin, someone you want to collaborate with that you haven't yet?
I would say Paul McCartney.
we
Believe
can
it or
arrange that.
believe it or not, that's one of the top biggest. Paul McCartney, and yeah, I grew up listening to the Beatles. I mean, I got to play with James Brown. That was like one of my guys that I wanted to play, and actually I was playing with a group that was like Pharrell Williams, all these big time producers, and he came and sang. And he sang. He just came and sang a few songs with us. And I was like, oh my God, I'm playing with James Brown. And yeah, he was one of the guys. Besides, I mean, I played with everyone else. I was lucky enough to play with, Tito Puente, Arturo Sandoval, and all these guys, great players. Thank God. I don't want to die yet, though. I would still want to keep playing. I don't want to say I could die. I could die and go to heaven. No,
No, I mean, I think we can all tell that you are just greatly humble, and that's beautiful. Don't change that. From our
no,
perspective,
never.
though, I mean, there's not. It's. I mean, how much of it is luck, and how much of it is hard work? Because
Yeah.
you haven't been the kind of musician that you just sit back and watch. You're actively, getting involved, and when people call you, you say yes, and you're constantly playing out there, whether it's locally or globally, and you're constantly making new music. Like you just said, you're going to come out with like two new albums. So yes, it's maybe God has blessed you, but you've also been doing your part for sure.
Oh, yeah. I never stop. You know why, Rosa? In this business, you never stop learning. I learn from everyone, and I like to help whoever I can help, and yeah, I'm always open ears for everything that's new that's happening out there. There's so much talent out there now, and I love it. I just embrace it. I embrace everything that's happening around, and yeah, I'm
And you
happy to
just
be.
got nominated for a Grammy as well, right?
Yeah,
The latest.
this last album, yeah, the last one, it was nominated for a Grammy. That's the one I did on the road. Took me like 4 years to finish it because I didn't have time. But I finally finished it when it was done. I went to New York and I mixed it there, and it came out, did pretty well. But then yeah, it was nominated. Everyone loved the album. Everyone was like, yeah, they loved the album. So I think it was a good nomination.
Absolutely.
Yeah, good nomination. Yeah, yeah. And that album has a little bit of everything. I put something in there that I haven't done in my previous CDs. I did a Latin jazz song. It's called Hudson Groove. Oscar Hernandez. Oscar Hernandez from Spanish Harlem Band. He wrote the song. I asked him to do something else. He said, "Listen, can I write a song for you? Can I do it?" He said, "Go ahead, just do it." And he sent me the tune, and I loved it. And I said, "Yeah, let's do it. Let's do that song." And it's called Hudson Groove. And yeah, I was living in the Hudson, by the Hudson in New York.
Edwin, have you ever gone to Cuba? Or is that something, for example, that you would like to do in the future?
I did. I traveled to Cuba. I've been to Cuba. I visited. Yeah, I went to
And
visit, and yeah. It was a short visit. It wasn't a long visit, but I got to see. Rumba. Got to play rumba and stuff like that, and yeah, it was great. I,
you
I
know,
I actually went for the folklore part. The folklore. I went for that and yeah, it was good. It was good. It was great.
I would love to see you collaborate with some local Cuban artists over there. Cuba is big on music, on cultural exchange.
Oh, I know.
So
I know.
collaborating more with them. And also someone else that I'm personally really into right now is Richard Bona and Mandecan Cubano. I mean,
Oh
and
yeah,
he
Richard
has
Bona.
Robert Quintero,
Right,
but I would
right.
love to see you do a collaboration with him. He's sick.
Yeah, he's awesome. He's awesome. He's awesome. Yeah, he's from Cameroon, Cameroon, Africa. Yeah, yeah. I've been
And
following
he
him.
recently started recently like 5 6 years ago he went to Cuba for like a year and a half, and he went to learn as well, and he came up with this album called Heritage with a
Oh,
band called Mande Can Cubano, and I am just obsessed with it. Um
oh, that's
and so
awesome.
I would love to see him collaborate with you because you have that Cuban Puerto Rican sabor that I think would also I think you guys could come up with something really cool and unique as well.
I've been a guest artist for Seteto Santiaguero.
Uh-huh.
Seteto, and that album won a Grammy. That one won a Grammy. And then I just did one last year. Last year while I was here, I did another one. It's called Romper el Coco, and it's got Mayito, Alejandro Abre,
Yes.
and
I have that album digitally. That's a
okay, well that's me
album.
on the
And mine said
on the
it.
first on the hit song, the cover, the Romper de Coco. That's me on the bongos. They
I
featured me on the
didn't know
bongos.
that. And that's
You
why
didn't know
I
it?
like
But they
It's
mentioned my
amazing.
name twice there, twice.
But here's the thing. But we don't get when with digital music we lose the
Oh, I
credits.
understand.
So
Okay,
sad. So sad. So I
yeah.
hear this awesome music and I don't know who's behind it unless I see it on video or it's written somewhere else. I love
It
that album. I love to play that album when I'm cleaning, washing cars because it's so energetic and it's such great quality.
Actually,
Yes.
it's really nice because it's in the new players, the new artists in Cuba, the new then they're dedicating it to the old school players, like like the Son Montuno from the 50s and 40s. That's what it's about. So it's a good album. It's a very good album. It's good, and I'm really happy that they invited me to be part of it. That was great. That was
Yeah,
awesome.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yay.
So got some music from Rosita. We've got 9 minutes left, I think. Not even
Oh,
nine, seven.
indeed.
Yeah, 7
The
minutes
pressure's
left.
on. So I had like 3 songs here picked out for later. But bueno, I'm gonna go ahead then and play something from Conjunto Impacto. I have it on CD. I need to get the LP. Because and I went to the party when they launched this CD, which was I think their latest work, and I'm playing it because basically it's something I associate with you very closely. I would photograph you and follow you, and we talked. I mean, obviously you meet so many people, so it's okay when if you don't
No,
remember
that's
me.
all. But when I saw your face, I said, "Wait a minute. She can't. She's not from London. She's not from Europe. She's from here."
Yeah,
I knew. I knew we talked. We talked before. We
so
met.
I definitely I saw you play these songs live, so I'm gonna go and play this track. Let's see.
¿A qué vienes? Si nunca me quisiste.
Edwin Bonilla in the house.
Me quedé vacío desde que te
Salsa.
fuiste. Y por tu partida todo lo perdiste. Y por eso ahora no tienes derecho. Pues todo lo mío casi está deshecho. Solo por tu amor. Ay, que nunca existió. Yo sé que la vida tiene sus sorpresas. Y a pesar de todo seguimos amando. Pero si sabemos que está fracasando. Y por mucho intento se sigue acabando. Dejamos de amar. ¿Y acaso podemos? Sorpresas del amor. Piedra en el camino. No sé si el destino me tendrá guardado otro corazón. Sorpresas del amor. Piedras en el camino. Y a pesar de todo, gracias que te fuiste, pero no con pero qué bueno que se marchó. Ella se fue solo por unas horas y más nunca regresó. Ella se fue y solo me dejó. Ay, pero qué bueno que se marchó. Después de todo, pensándolo bien, como me alegro que el camino perdió. Ella se fue y solo me dejó. Ay, pero qué bueno que se marchó. Y por eso te digo ahora, chirrin, chirran, que lo nuestro se acabó. Te lo digo yo, que no hay más nada. Echa para allá. Y ahora yo te digo que ni mires para atrás. Vete, no quiero verte más. Sigue tu camino y sin mirar atrás. Porque lo que tú me hiciste, no lo voy a perdonar. Sigue tu camino y sin mirar atrás. Ahí yo me buscaré una nena que me quiera de verdad. Sigue tu camino y sin mirar atrás. Piérdete, enfúmate y no regreses jamás. Sigue tu camino y sin mirar atrás. Bandolera, traicionera, embustera, te enreda con cualquiera. Vete, vete. No quiero una isla contigo, mami. Oye, por eso te digo que coge el caminito bien derechito, pero que coge el caminito rapidito. Coge el caminito bien derechito. Porque lo que quiero es que te vayas bien lejito. Coge el caminito bien derechito. No quiero verte ni por un ratito. Coge el caminito bien derechito. Adiós, goodbye, y que te vaya bonito. Y que te vaya bien.
Yeah. Yeah.
The room is on fire.
Oh my God. Wow.
Thank you very much for that, Rosita.
Is that your picture? You took that picture?
Did you take your photo?
No, no, no. I didn't take this picture, but I took pictures of you during this period.
Okay.
That's just the CD.
Okay.
That's what I have.
Okay. Okay. Wow.
Rosita, wow, wow, wow.
That's a
Honestly.
good CD. That's a Infato CD, right? Yeah,
Yes.
it's good. That's a good
It
CD.
is.
That was
Awesome,
good.
awesome CD. So, guys, this is DJ Amos and DJ Muzu with the lovely Rosita, all the way in Florida, and of course, Edwin Bonilla, our special guest, cross-platform with the COVID party. Thank you guys all for tuning in this evening and for asking questions and sharing all the love and all the energy that you threw at us as well. It's been absolutely amazing. Great music, of course, from Rosita as well as Muzu and myself. But the whole journey tonight has been about Edwin and his journey in the salsa world with his music and who he's collaborated with and who he's worked with. It's absolutely been an amazing learning curve. I'm just looking at the time now. 11 minutes to go. So I think, is it me who's playing or Muzu, you want to play?
You're going to play, Amos. It's going to be your turn. But very quick question before we go. I think we've got 9 minutes left. Mark is asking the question, Edwin. He would like to know how you found the conga and percussion style in Cuba for playing rumba differed from his own style, from your own style.
For my own style?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I pretty much adapted to it because I've always listened to rumba from Cuba, like those muñequitos, Pancho Quinto, Papines. And here in Miami, they have good players that play good rumba too. And they're like, a lot of them are just came from Cuba. So, I mean, it's not that different here in Miami than Cuba. There are good players here too. So I picked up from everybody. I picked a little bit up from everyone here, and so have they. So it's like that. We've traded off.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you for your answer, Amos.
Yes. Rosita, would you like to play another track, or shall I kick one off here, and then we can finish out with on one of yours?
I'd like to play another track. if
Yeah,
that's
go for it.
Yay! Go for it!
Go.
Go for it!
Yeah.
Go for it!
Sorry. Yeah,
Let's do it.
I just want to go ahead and play my other Charanga Casino record. And
Oh yes!
Wow, you're going way
Come on,
back.
come. Bring it to the screen. That's it. Yes.
all right,
that
can you
guy
guys
there?
tell who Edwin is?
Yes, on the top
Wait,
left-hand
the
corner. Is
third
that
guy
right?
on the left.
I thought it was on the left. Oh, no, I would never ever
On the
guess
right,
that
on
one.
the
No.
right. It's on the right.
On the right
Yeah.
there.
On the right,
Wow.
yeah. On
I
the
thought
right.
that
Sorry.
is. Am I right?
No,
I
you have
thought-
it. Yeah, it's
I
on the
thought-
right,
I thought
right
it
hand
was-
side.
I thought it was on the. It was on the top left-hand corner.
No,
No, you
no.
got the wrong guy there.
Well, you got a twin brother. You got a twin brother.
I'm pretty sure I'm right. The
We
eye.
all,
Hey,
we all
Muzo,
look
look.
alike. We all look alike.
Muzo,
Muzu, Muzu, grab these, grab these, grab these.
Let me. Oh yes, of course. Yeah. Hold on.
So this record
I dropped
is
it.
from 1982. So this is earlier than the previous one I think that I had played.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna go ahead with the song Oye me voy para la luna.
Yes.
Oh my God! Wow.
One sec. I'm a big charanguera.
Me too. Me too.
Yo quiero pasar la luna de miel con mi único
Could you turn it up a little bit, Rosita?
para vivir en paz. Voy a descansar de tanta ambición. Vamos a vivir sin preocupación. Ya seremos muy felices en nuestra soledad. Luna de miel en la luna. ¿Quién se lo iba a imaginar? No voy a buscar fortuna, solamente voy a amar. Yo quiero pasar la luna de miel con mi único amor que llevo en mi ser. Y viajaremos a la luna para vivir en paz. Me voy a casar, me voy a embarcar, yo me voy para la luna. Me voy a casar, me voy a embarcar, yo me voy para la luna. Me voy a casar, me voy a embarcar, yo me voy para la luna.
He's killing it.
Yes.
Killing it. Look at that, maracas and all.
Share the love for the little lady there.
Oh yeah.
Skip house.
Go.
Yo me voy para la luna. Yo me voy para la luna.
Wow.
Wow.
Smooth.
Wow, Rosa. Wow.
I
Great
feel
took
so
me
selection.
back.
lucky to have those records for sure. When I look at those records and I see that I know these people, I'm like, oh my god, those are more valuable to me than any Vaya, any Fania, any Tico records, any Cotique.
Wow. You took me
Absolutely
back there,
amazing.
Rosa. You took me back.
I'll tell you though, Edwin, I think if we're gonna have to work on something to really put out there a comprehensive list of your recordings, like everything that you're in. I think that'd be really cool if we could do that, and I'd love to
Yes.
help
Yes.
Definitely.
because you've done so
Definitely.
much, and it needs to be out there.
It does. It does. Absolutely. I mean, your discography would be an ideal list for myself, like Rosa and all the other guys who are DJs there who
The
collect
DJs, yeah.
vinyls. For them, it's just like Tony Salsa King Gonzalez. He's like a walking encyclopedia. But if he had that info, that would be a bonus for him.
That would help a lot for sure. For sure.
Yes.
Yes,
I
so
have
we
to
can
remember a
connect
lot
it.
of. I have to remember. I have to like bring back my.
Can I take this opportunity? Go on.
I'm sorry.
Sorry. No,
No,
carry on.
it's
You were
okay. It's
saying.
okay. Go. Go ahead.
No, I'm just looking at the time because there's another DJ coming on after us as well on
Ah,
COVID
okay.
party.
Okay.
So yes, so I'm going to take this opportunity to say thank you very much to Edwin Bonilla for spending 2 hours with us. It's been an absolute quality of a time, absolutely
Thank you for
amazing.
having me.
It's
Thank you for having me.
it's been
We're
an
not
absolute
worth
been a
it.
pleasure.
We're not worth it. We're not
Great.
worth it.
and of course to the
Oh, yes, you
beautiful
are. Very much
Rosita
so. Without you, I'm
and
nothing. Without
and
all of you,
to
I'm nothing.
and no, you are somebody very special, and we've got the music to prove it. And of
Thank
course
you so much for this time for sure.
and to
Thank you.
Rosita for taking time out with the family, to Jason, to the lovely lady, little baby who was dancing there. You guys are absolutely amazing. We love you loads. The Ortiz family in Florida. Thank you very, very much for spending time with us. And to, of course,
Thank you,
my
guys.
friend,
Thank you,
my
guys.
friend, my DJ friend, my colleague, my brother in arms. We play every week. DJ Muzu in the house. Thank you very much, and of course to
Sir.
all the
Yes,
listeners
sir.
for your support today. We hope
Yes,
to be
sir.
back next week. I'm on with Tony Salsa King Gonzalez and David Frankel from Avenida Bear with DJing only. So there's nothing else, no interviews, no nothing, just music on vinyls. So that's next Saturday. So stay tuned for that one.
And
We're
we're
gonna
back tomorrow. Remember, Sunday special. You and
yes,
I.
and we got Sunday special tomorrow evening as well. So come and join us for that at 5:30 p.m. UK time. I'm gonna go out on the album that Edwin did in 2010. Homenaje
Homenaje.
a los rumberos, and the track
yeah.
on
Which one
there,
are you gonna play?
the title track. Is there something else you want me to play on that? I can do whatever
No,
you
that's
want.
good.
Which one
Any
is
song on that record is pretty good.
That's a great album, guys. Yeah. So if you want to ask any question, you've got Edwin on Facebook. Tag him, add him as your friend, and fire the questions away. And I'm sure he'll get back to you, even if you want to know about his music or anything else. I'm sure he'll be obliged to share the information.
Very
I'll
much
play
so.
the track. I wish everybody a very good night and see you soon. This is Edwin Bonilla's album Homenaje a los Rumberos from 2010, and the title track is the same as well. Here we go.
Thank you very much.
Alelele, alelele, alelela.
Rosita.
Saludos a los rumberos, les vengo yo a presentar.
Go, Rosita, go!
Los soneros vengo a cantar, cantando con sentimiento, hoy les quiero dedicar. Canto de monte adentro, que llega hasta la ciudad, brindando mi son con mucho sabor para la humanidad.
Lina.
Salsa.
Un homenaje de cuerda. Dale, Marco. Bonilla. De Panamá con amor, ¿viste?
Lina, Lina, Lina. Nice comment.
Oye, como toca Giovanni Largo, tú verás. Mi marido. Tú vas a ver. Tú verás. Tú vas a ver.
Salsa.
Tú verás. Tú vas a ver. Tú vas a ver. Tú vas a ver. Tú vas a ver. Tú vas a ver.
Wow.
Y no pare el homenaje. Ahora se lo doy con trompeta.
This is DJ Amos presenting Edwin Bonilla this evening. It's been what a fantastic night. Thank you to Rosita as well. Rosita con Salsita in the house, all the way from Florida. What a pleasure it's been. Like to wish you good night. Stay safe, stay happy, and a massive thanks to Edwin for spending 2 hours with us this evening. Amazing, amazing. Rosita.
Yes, yes, absolutely. Thank you so much, DJ Amos. And yes, Musu, you can share those pictures. They're there on Facebook. They're a couple years back.
Amazing, amazing. Muzo.
Yeah, thank you everybody, and it's been absolute fun, and it's a long weekend, long Easter weekend, and we're having an absolute ball, and it was so lovely to have DJ Rosita, DJ, photographer and singer Rosita,
goodness.
con Salsita,
Wow.
and
Every
of
time-
course the legendary Edwin
You make me
Bonilla.
blush.
Thank you, DJ Amos, my brother, and my DJ brother, my normal brother, you know. So thank you for arranging this for us. It's been absolutely a pleasure, and looking forward to seeing you again tomorrow, 5:30.
Tomorrow, yes. Good night and
Thank
God
you,
bless.
everybody. Thank you for joining us.
Bye bye.